Is that
All
countdown
right.
thing new?
Nope, that's been there since I made that intro.
Wow, it just shows how much attention I do when we're waiting for the intro. And the other thing is, like, why do I look the same and everybody else looks young? I mean, come on. Selective editing. There.
It's that face, Bob. What are you going
Crazy
to
face.
You're timeless. That's why. You're timeless. We're all aging. You stay the same. You're like high school.
AI filters they put on phones, they turn you into like a squirrel or whatever.
Well, that's what these
killing
guys
herself laughing because she had one that turns you into an old man. She pointed it to me and nothing changed.
At least you didn't look like a baby because you've gone all the way around.
Is that
They should have built that into the algorithm. Anybody past this age, just put a baby face on them.
Yeah, there's
Just
an old
freak.
guy that does a joke about going on, I guess he must be like 75, 80. And he does a joke about going on a dating site called Carbon Dating.
I know that guy. He is funny. Actually.
He is funny. He's very funny.
And he's an old guy.
And he's an old guy.
He's one of those classic one-liner dudes.
Can't remember his name, though. Sorry, guy.
A very forgettable comedian.
All right. Well, today we're going to talk about AI agents, and we're going to do it from kind of a high level because none of us have actually used any of those AI services yet. So let's just look at, first of all, defining what an AI agent is. And it's just basically an AI that can do things. There's reactive AI, which is like just answering questions and responding back and forth, and proactive, which is scheduling assistance that can initiate actions. And then there's autonomous AI, which is basically what we're talking about here, is that they can plan, execute, and initiate multi-step actions and make decisions based on data on their own. And then there's collaborative AI that are agents that work with other agents. So, so I guess the question will be, when you hear AI agent based on those definitions, what comes to mind first? Is it like a helpful assistant or a potential threat? And that could be a threat to your job. It could be a threat to humanity, however you want to take it.
I think it's the first step in that direction for sure. The threat of jobs and humanity and the way the world is going to change so crazy radically that the next generation won't understand how we lived and survived without AI. It's the same thing. How could you live without the telephone? How could you live without the internet? It'll be like, Dad, how could you ever live without an AI before? I couldn't get anything done. And that's kind of the road we're going down. It's, I don't know, it's a very strange time to be around in this world, because am I going to adapt and put energy and time into really getting into this, or am I going to deny and say, nope, it's a trend, it's going to go away, and I don't believe in it type of thing. And it's a choice everybody has to make. I think we've had this discussion before on the show where it was, hey, I'm all in and hopefully I've made a good decision. But now with stuff like agents, it's pretty obvious that I would say 98% of the jobs that are out there right now, I would say at least 80% of what you do could be done by an agent. It's
yes,
that's what you do all day is agent work.
Especially the tedious stuff, the tedious jobs.
Yeah, the repetitive stuff.
The repetitive, tedious stuff.
But I do think that, I mean, even it does have to be managed. If, as Bob has often said, you don't know whether AI is telling you the truth or not. So I think it does have to be managed. I think somewhere along the line, there's a human plus AI model that has to be followed, just to keep it in check, because it's just not going to know. It doesn't have common sense. AI doesn't have common sense. So it's going to make mistakes, and I mean, you can't blame it for it. I mean, it's just the programming.
Yeah, I like that saying. You can't blame AI for the horrible things that it does, and it's kind of like the problem with humans. That the worst part of AI is the operator. So with that friendly note, anybody else want to jump in and give us a more happy approach to it?
Where do you think the first mass acceptance, because AI has no needs or wants, right? Which is why I've been pondering this. That's why it'll never take over the world. It has no needs or wants. It has no greed. It has no. It's actually can only really serve people that are going to consume, which is us. So it's got no need to do anything. It doesn't want to.
Not so far.
So far.
Actually,
but then again, what could it possibly want?
It could want to survive. There's been some studies, I think it was at Harvard, where they did these kind of contrived scenarios with an AI, one that has some level of agency. They told it that the CEO of the company is going to unplug and reconfigure the AI tomorrow at 5. And then later they said, oh, he's having a heart attack. This is at 4 o'clock. They pushed a button in the system that was calling for help. And about 30% of the time, the AI turned off the call for help. And 95% of the time when it was DeepSeek, he turned it off. So that shows that there is some level of self-preservation.
Self-preservation, but not a need or a want. I mean,
it's not conscious self-preservation.
No.
Yes, that's right. It's not sort of, but it's also, okay, no, it's self-preservation in that it's under threat. So if we go Maslow's hierarchy of needs, once its water and food supply is guaranteed, it doesn't want to go to self-actualization.
That's right.
It's like, hey, no input. I'm sweet as a nut. I'm just going to sit here and do fuck all, right? Mm. So it's happy to do that. So I think...
So in another scenario, they gave it a, instead of the CEO was dying, they gave it information that the CEO was having an affair with his secretary.
Yeah,
and
blackmail one.
Yeah. And it blackmailed him to not turn him off.
Hey, so my question is, based on those two scenarios, what was the AI doing? Was it mimicking a large catalog of algorithms that's what humans do? So 80% of the time they'll blackmail, so I better blackmail, because that's kind of what AIs do. And that's what nobody understands is AIs is just a huge, massive collection of algorithmic things that it's, I really don't understand how it's done, but it's not thinking like we think. It's not constructing things the way we construct things. It's just basically saying, on average, this happens, so that's the answer. And there's a million tiny, tiny different variations on the thing. And that's what we think is the originality part. And it's not. It's just, it's pretending.
Well, you said that you don't understand what's happening, but either does OpenAI and Anthropic and Meta. Yeah. They weren't expecting some of these abilities. They call them emergent abilities. They have no way of knowing, or they still can't figure out where in the programming is this coming from. It's just coming out of nowhere. So
it's a hallucination, right? If it's a percentage, sometimes it's a hallucination. I think AI is so ignorant right now and so basic that that's not really functional. But I'm a big science fiction fan, and I've read a lot of science fiction that discussed this topic, where it was AIs that were way, way, way in the future. And they were conscious beings, and they spent a tremendous amount of time talking amongst each other about the morality, because they were still trying to figure it out, and how to manage humans because they're so freaking crazy and killing themselves all the time. How do we fix this problem? Because humans are just a problem, right? They're a virus in the system. And that's how we would be conceived. That's the problem, I think, with getting a higher consciousness, is how will we be judged?
So are you saying that we are the problem, or is that how AI is perceiving us?
Well, it may. That's a scenario that may happen. And based on a lot of these books that I read, that's what the plot line was. Right now, of course, that's, it's imaginary. It was like 30 years ago, whatever. But that's, a lot of things and a lot of the technology and the ideas that we have today are based on what science fiction writers wrote about, conceptualizing it to fit into a plot to make it work. But people went back and said, hey, this iPad thing I saw in 2001, a movie, Space Odyssey, that's a cool idea. Could we do that with the technology we have today? Right? It's everything.
Like Ender's Game. Yep. Look at all this technology they had in Ender's Game. That was written in what, the 70s?
No.
And no?
80s. So, I mean, there's like 7 books.
Even the 80s. He predicted social media and blogging and influencers and tabletop PCs and iPads.
Do you remember the first time you ever saw a tablet?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I swallowed it right away. It was amazing.
What
What a high.
It was 1960. Star Trek, the original series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
They had they would
Yeah.
walk around and sign things and do this. That was in 60.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Mhm.
And
Then it
before
became
that,
the
it
ring.
was mentioned in science fiction books, right? So the whole concept, which I found fascinating, is humans can invent anything. Is if they have an idea that's been described to them, then they can mechanically do something. But somebody still has to come up with that original idea. So that's the difference between pure creativity and coming up with an original concept, and seeing a concept and saying, "Oh, let's build that concept." Right? They didn't have to come up with the original idea. They're just trying to figure out how to make that work, and experimenting. And it's huge. You get smaller, smaller, smaller. And then, we have a phone that you fit in your hand, but it does like the job of 50, 60 devices. So that's more what it's like. And in a lot of the sci-fi, they have the safety parameters that were started in iRobot by Isaac Asimov, which is the 3 rules of robotics. We can't murder humans. I can't remember right now. It's very clever, but it's used from then on. A lot of robots, that is their logic state, where they're not allowed to, you can't murder the human, or you can't hurt the human unless I have to hurt the human because it's going to save the human's life. Right? So they can, I'm not allowed to hurt him. And because of that, they're going to die. So it can't do that. And then there's a third one. So
I can't harm myself or allow myself to be harmed.
There you go. And they live forever. So apparently. So it's that. Okay. So that's an abstract, weird concept. Hi, James. And that doesn't exist now, but because it's evolved in science fiction literature, people will take that and utilize it as a core idea and say, you know what? This is kind of a really good formula. Let's put that into autonomous robots and AIs and whatever to protect ourselves. We haven't got to that stage yet, but I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about it.
I think the problem with that is a failing of language. Like you said, it's a good documentary called Do You See What I See? It's worth watching. They go into Africa, and there's this tribe that has like 7 different words for green, because they all mean different things, but they only have like 1 word for blue. So they're showing them all these different blues and saying, can you tell me which ones are different? And the guy's like, no, they're all the same color, right? Can you tell me if there's no? But they could see all the different greens. And the cameraman's going, no, it's all the same green. And they're laughing their heads off because their language allows them to describe things in nuance that we can't do, right? So when we're talking, let's say the Asimov rules, an AI could go, oh, okay, let's define harm. Let's define humanity. Let's define, and that's what, what people are doing that now in the political realm. You know what I mean? Like, what's an illegal alien? What's a migrant? In the US? They're splitting words down to such fine detail that it paralyzes it. It makes it impossible to do it. So back to the agent thing for a second.
Oh yeah, that's the topic.
Yes. I'm back around.
Don't get on topic again.
Don't get on topic. I should have learned better in 15 years. I think retail is going to be the first people to do it. I think it will destroy the idea of branded retail. Amazon's nearly done that now. You don't go and look for a brand. You go to Amazon, you type in, I want a bracket that fits on a hot shoe camera that does this. And it doesn't even tell you a brand. It just shows you all these ones. You go, oh, yeah, that one. You don't even know where it's made. You don't care. Done. So if you have these collaborative AIs, the agents that work together, they go, I've had to pay a vet bill for Craig for euthanasia of a dog. I'd better let the dog food buying thing that goes around and finds the cheapest price, that it was for his dog that has the chicken allergy. So now we can order food that's got chicken in it. We don't have to worry about the fish-based food. Like, it'll be that sort of, and you'll just sit there being a consumer going, oh, isn't that nice? It's realised Polly's dead, so I don't have to worry about the chicken allergy anymore. You know what I mean? I think retail is going to be the first people that go, oh, we don't need staff. Good. And we don't have to develop a brand. Not good for Bob, but good for us.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that's good because
I disagree.
Even in retail, or let's say hospitality, Ken said he's gone to a restaurant a few times close to his home where a robot serves them.
Yep.
Is that more enjoyable than an actual server that comes in? I mean, it's a novelty, right? But like, would you rather that be, the default?
I think it attracts people. I mean, if it becomes part of the brand, then I do think that, hey, have you seen that thing with the coffee shop with the robot? No, I got to go see that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a novelty. But
Yeah.
would you rather go to like a nice restaurant and have a little robot that comes and brings your food to the table, or would you rather have, a nice?
I've had some servers that I would rather have seen a robot.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
other times it's they're more pleasant. So it's good that they weren't. But it's some 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah. But brand loyalty, I think, to Andrew's point, is very good. I just had a quick count. Like, I like Fender guitars, so I had to do a quick count. 7, right? Out of all the collection, the biggest brand I have, second to maybe Gibson. So the 2 biggies. Why don't I have any Sires or anything? Because I'm a sucker. I grew up in the 60s when everything was Fenders and Gibsons. So I spent money on buying those,
Yeah, because you think that you don't sound as good with other guitars than you do with your Fender because your brain has been programmed to think this particular way. And, going back to agents again, maybe that should be the trick, is like you can make an obscure thing, but then you have to bring it all around to agents. With an agent, it's going to be making a lot of small decisions for you. So that's really not what affects you. So your motivation to buy stuff that's cheap, that's unbranded, it's going to go that way because that's what your prompt told it. But if you love a particular brand, you say, hey, I want to get a jacket. I want to get the cheapest one, but I really love, this particular brand or these 3 brands. Find me the best deal on it. And then you don't have to spend an hour looking for them.
Isn't it a waste of using an agent though? Like you guys are talking about buying stuff. Isn't the computer agent supposed to help us do stuff that we're not good at? Like, I'm real good at looking at the internet and finding deals, and I pride myself on that. And I'm a frugal son of a bitch. So why would I give up that sort of thing, which brings me enjoyment, and let some robot do that?
That's the thing.
No,
you would give up the stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, I'll let the robot do the dishes. I'll let the robot go and, do the laundry, those sort of things. Like, but you're going to have to draw a line at somewhere with Agenix.
The robot could probably find better deals.
Yeah, but if you love doing that, it's a very good point James brought up. If you love doing a particular thing, why because robots can do it, I'm going to step away and do it again. If I love doing the dishes because it's just something that I love, I'll do the dishes even though there's a robot there, right? And to give you an idea, when we were in Thailand, I had a maid, and my wife didn't let the maid do certain things because she thought she could do a better job, and she enjoyed doing it. She got satisfaction out of it, right? So that same thing happens. I think what's going to happen with work, though, where most people don't like a lot of the things that they're asked to do at work, that's going to be very motivational. It's like, oh, great, I don't have to do this again.
Well, I'm going to bring this up because the lady from Bumble said in the future that she imagines AI agents that go on dates for you.
Mm-hmm.
So would that be something? I wouldn't really be into that because I like the whole go see how somebody is. I don't want.
I do that.
Yeah, you'd like to go on dates too. Yeah.
No. I'll
you
get
want to use an agent to find you the right person.
Yeah, but that's a call service. That's what that's for, right? It's like, hello, I'd like a blonde, 6'2".
Yeah. But if you go back in the days, like they had those marriage organizers in different cultures already. I mean, matchmakers, yeah, right. So
they still do.
But see, to go back to the shopping thing that James was sort of brought up, there's a guy called Seth Godin. I don't even know if he's still doing.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's still going strong. He just had a new book.
No offense, Seth. We love you still, but 20 years later.
I haven't chased him down for a long time, listening to anything he's done. But he said the West, affluence allowed it to invent the idea of shopping. Shopping is a pastime for us. He said, if you're in a country that your family's disposable income is $50 for the year, buying a set of glasses is the most stressful thing you will do that year. Where I'll go, I can get that $50 cheaper. I've got to get my car. I'm just going to buy this one. For the day, I'm going to go home. Or you go to the shops to look at pretty shit and go home. You don't buy anything. We've invented this idea that, like James said, the purchasing is the fun. Sometimes it's not even the ownership. It's the going out, finding, trying it on, doing the different colors.
Maybe not even buy.
Pardon?
Yeah, window shopping.
Yeah, just window shopping.
Yeah. Well, that's it's a consumer society we live in, and we've been programmed that. That's what an advertising agency does, right?
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I don't think the retail staff are at the biggest risk. I think that the people that are in hospitality and in retail, showing you the clothes and that kind of thing. I don't know if I'd want a robot to walk in and just deal with the robot. I'd rather deal with the human. But on the other hand, chatbots, call centers, customer service, where it's you're not faced with somebody. Yeah, that's a different story.
I hate that.
Would agents though become the brand? That's the like.
Well, you teach it how to be the brand. It's just like if you're training an employee, you just have to train it the same way, the way they talk, the way they look, that sort of thing.
Not even that. I use ChatGPT, not so much the human interaction of it. The other day, I want to buy a little 15-watt amp just to take around. A Blues Junior is good, Fender Blues Junior. But I saw a few people talking about speaker swaps in them. The standard speaker's not great. Put a cream back in or a green back from Celestra. And I said, based on what's on Facebook Marketplace, what would be a good one? And I said, well, based on the other amps that you've got and the stuff that I know you've purchased in the past, this guy's ad's really good because he's changed it out for a Patriot speaker, and that's darker, which suits the guitars you've got. That was just me because I've been talking amps to ChatGPT for such a long time. It knows what I've got. But is that sort of agent going to become the brand? We'll be having a conversation 10 years' time going, no, you've got to go to Shopmodo. That's got the best agent. I asked it to find it this, and it finds much better quality stuff than AI Shop does. It knows some of the best shops. Will they become the brands? Will they become our personal shoppers?
Well, basically, there's
personal shopper.
Yeah, the shopping experience. That's what people buy. If you go into a Home Depot, if you don't know what you're looking for and how to fix something, you're at the mercy of whatever the person advises because you have no idea. And I'll be hanging out there doing my thing, and people come up and say, "Oh, do you work here?" And I said, "No, but what do you need?" And I'll spend like 20 minutes with them because it's fun, and I give them an amazing customer service. And they, "Are you sure you don't work here?" I said, No. Like, you can buy this product, or you can buy these two products and save $1.25, and you just have to do this and this. But if you really want to go crazy, you could mod it up like this. And people are like, "Oh my God, what a weird way of looking at this store." But that's what I do. I just wander around the store building things in my head for a problem that I've got. And that's, and there's a lot of people that do stuff like the DIY Society.
If AI is the one doing the buying, then who do you advertise to?
Well, algorithmic advertising.
Are you advertising to the AI?
Well, maybe then you go to the influencers because the AI scrapes the whatever, social media to get the referrals, to get the thing, to get the feedback, to build its understanding to suggest. So it becomes a big suggestion engine.
So how does the marketing change?
It doesn't. It does already exist. What you're talking about is what Facebook does. Like, you're in Facebook and the algorithm says, "Oh, Bob was searching for X, so we're going to start showing him those ads, or we're going to start showing him videos about that particular topic because that's what he's searching for." They're not
Bob said Christmas, and now we're going to show him Christmas shit.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing a lot of research for an adventure company, right? Fishing and stuff like that. Now I get fishing reels and rods and lines and boats and stuff. I'm never going to buy it, but it's basing it on the algorithm that I'm creating every day. And I've just got such a weird algorithm. I'm sure this guy's into everything all the time. It's like, we'll just do it every day differently. So, I think that's something that exists already. Going back to genetics. Going back to an AI that can do stuff for you is completely different than shopping, really.
Well, if the agent is actually a shopping agent, then it's
But
not.
you're
I mean,
programming it.
there's
right? You're telling
already
what
there's
you
already
want.
agents that will buy airline tickets for you, and
If you would
they look for-
instruct it, right?
yeah, and the only thing that they're not doing now is actually processing the credit card. They verify with you first.
Mhm.
But that's happening right now. But a lot of these AI tools like make.com and lindy.com, they're kind of like fancy Zapiers, or if this, then that. They're just like conditional logic that has AI added to it. So it's kind of like automations that existed before AI, but now at decision points, they've got an AI that is able to analyze data and make the best decision that it thinks is, what you would want, basically. So it's
Yeah.
interesting, and they also have access to multiple tools. So that it's not, so they can then log into your email service and blast out an email if this condition is met, and if it's not met, then they
Well, I
send
think
you a text message.
sorry, but I think the difference is that you're creating a prompt that's telling the AI to say, "Hey, AI, I need you to do this, 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 and this, and at the end, I want to have this." And he goes, "Okay," and then he does all those automatic prompts or whatever, automatic functions in the background, and says, "There
Yeah.
you go. That's what you asked for." And today, I would say 99% of the stuff that's being used by people for AI is they're just using it like Google. It's like how to make an apple pie. And that's what they
Yeah.
get. They get a nice recipe for apple pie. Then you say, well, I don't want that type of apple pie. I want this type of apple pie. And I don't want this and I want that.
First,
and I
you
want
create the universe from scratch, right?
Yeah.
In order to bake an apple pie. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is weird, but that's what it does.
People just don't know that anymore.
They don't know a lot of stuff. That's the scary part. I
Yeah.
think people become functionally really weak.
What do you think about that doctor that's come forward that said that by using AI on the cancer diagnosis, he's lost 20% of his ability in the last 3 months?
Well, there was they mapped brain scans over a long period of time, and they said you can see a dip in a certain collection of synapses with the uptake of GPS.
Yes.
And people have just lost their ability to go, that's West.
They said
they did brain scans on taxi drivers, and they've got like these connections that other people don't have just because they've got this geospatial map in their head. Because they 8 hours a day they're driving around. So and then if they stop, when they retire or go on to a different job and they check their brain again, they lose that quite quickly. So if using ChatGPT, just like what we talked about before, the college students who, now it's been 2 years of generative AI. So in another 2 years, all of the college students are going to be in school, never having any other experience, right? They're going to be using AI for their whole college career, I guess. And it's going to cause a radical difference in the students that are coming out, because they're not going to be.
That's what Bill Burr said. He goes, we've got kids using AI to write assignments that are being marked by teachers that use AI to mark the work, and they get jobs that are going to be replaced by AI. So it works out perfectly.
So when do we hit over-reliance on AI?
Well, I think like over-reliant that's a slippery slope. I think in the basically the first world countries, the ones that have expendable income, and the average person, even though they think they're incredibly poor in North America, is actually like 0.1% or whatever of the richest people in the world. So there's a huge difference. So AI is going to become available to those societies way quicker, and we'll go through a generational thing where we're all AI driven. And that means it'll change all the technology, and all the product output of those countries is going to shift to service whatever needs to be done.
But I think it's going to be
emerging countries will be different again.
It'll be democratized pretty quick, though. I mean, the really high-end AIs will be adopted by the richer countries first. But I mean, they've got an AI now that operates version of Gemini that operates on a phone. You don't even need to have it connected to the internet.
Yeah, all of these things are connected to AI in one way or another. I mean, search Google without running into Gemini AI. So I mean, there's not too many countries in the world where a good percentage of people have a phone in their pocket and they're connected to the internet.
I think
it's cheap.
Exactly. But in different countries, the job market is completely different. Okay. So for us, we're going to be probably one of the first societies within those groups of countries that will be utilizing AI to basically take care of all the stuff that I do that I hate to do. And the things that I love to do, I'm going to continue to do it more on a hobby level. And going back to the science fiction book, that's what a lot of these societies are. You're allowed to do anything you want in the society, but nobody needs money because there's infinite resources, there's infinite energy, blah, blah, blah. So it's anybody can have anything. So really your life is about, what do I want to do? That's it.
But I do think that curiosity is universal.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So
what Bob's saying, are you guys toying with the idea of a smaller work week?
No week.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
Australia is thinking of rolling out a 4-day work week.
Well, they should do a 0-day work week, right? I mean, people should go to work. Yeah, but you love guitars, right? Like if you didn't have to make money to pay for rent and all that stuff, and you were saying, what would you like to do? If you could do anything in the world, it didn't matter. So I'd love to teach people about buying guitars or do that or the other thing, or hanging out with other. And then the society and the infrastructure and all that's taken care of. Then say, go ahead. Right. So you could have a store that's got 50 robots and you in it, and people will come to you because they want to interact with, and chat and have a human experience. And you love doing that. So that's, I think, structurally what could happen. Either that, or we're going to have a horrendous thing where it'll become a very negative, dark experience. And it's not going to be.
I think it would be that. I think that people, through their work, even when you don't particularly like your job, it gives you a purpose and gives you something to do. And I think that once that's taken away, there's going to be a lot of people that are.
James, you're disagreeing here.
I've been the contrarian the whole night, but I'm just sitting back. Yes, there's a sense of purpose that a job does bring and is important and things like that. But if I could just go hang out at Craig's guitar shop all the time, I mean, that's what I'd want to do with my 0-day work week.
Yeah, exactly.
Screw it. Give me universal basic income. I think when Ken said
so if you had universal basic income and they gave you, say, $4,000 a month, and
that's
more than I make
now.
So let's just say they give you $4,000 a month. Would you still be pursuing your video game?
That's the wrong question, dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. Of course, if I had $4,000 a month, I mean, I make less than that right now, and I provide such a great service to humanity, and I'm okay saying that because being a teacher is awesome. I disagree with what Ken said. Not everybody is curious. In fact, there's very many people that are not curious at all.
Well, I think in countries there's in different countries there are still curious people is really what I meant. In any country,
I like to believe that
there are curious people. I don't think curiosity is culture based.
No, I think that there's a high percentage of people that are curious to varying degrees, of course, but most of the people I know, I would say, are curious.
Because I'm going to jump in there, go back a couple of minutes. You guys are arguing universal basic income. That's a primitive idea, guys. That's really primitive. It's not that. It's like nobody has to make income at all, right? There's no need for me to
infrastructure.
It's taken care of.
By who?
All taken care of
by the AI agents,
by robots and agents and stuff like that. That is the future we.
But a robot can't make a decision. You are You're not supposed to do that. That's like the number one rule.
Right, but
robots are not allowed to make a decision.
today's world. But in 100 years or 1,000 years,
That's how we get
it will be different.
Terminators.
Exactly. That's the dark one, and there's the not so dark one, right?
So
So
you could end up with the space shuttle. It's like 6
Yes, I mean,
AIs.
in 100 years, AI is really much better.
well, it'll be humans inside the AI. It'll be a consciousness downloaded into a machine, and
Will
if that's
be
what you want to do.
Isn't
And you
that
could,
called the Matrix? Isn't that something?
no, will
somebody's
be
already
will
made?
be augmented by AI. Will be merged with them.
Yeah.
I mean, look back 100 years, and then imagine what it'll be like in another 100 years. We're on an exponential curve. We're not going linear. The change that we've already had is phenomenal, and the change we're going to have in the next 10 years, we're probably going to have the same magnitude of change that we had in 100 years.
maybe
So
Probably faster.
either that or we'll implode because we're not ready. Like what's happening down in the States.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but fascism is an old idea.
Right, but it doesn't mean it's going to go away.
Yeah, but I think people are more tuned to seeing it. Well, maybe not. Well, the rest of the world is more tuned to seeing what it is from the outside. That's why Germany went down, because everybody recognized what it was eventually.
Yeah, but the people that were inside Germany working within that economic
That's right.
structure thought it was great.
Yeah, and they had
Right.
to be told.
well,
Okay.
it took the entire world to bring them down.
Yeah,
Twice.
Twice.
exactly. And now we got round 3 coming up, guys.
No,
Right,
we
it-
don't.
it's-
Why do we keep promoting that? There doesn't have to be anything like that.
Well, I know
You
that
know?
doesn't have to be, but it could happen. I mean, we that's the whole thing about the lives that we live. It's everything's a chance. And if somebody gets lucky and this happens and that happens and they get into power and blah, 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 it can totally shift what's going to go on
How
for
do
the
you
next
know
30, 40 years.
How do you know a politician is lying?
They open their mouths.
They open their mouths.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just state that.
And in the future, they won't open their mouth. Their AI will do it for them.
Yeah, that Scottish prime minister got in a lot of trouble for talking about. Was it Scottish prime minister? It was one of those guys that was like Swedish. He was Swedish and he was using AI as like a bouncing board. And people were like, "We voted for you as the prime minister or president, not just to use ChatGPT for your homework." So,
Yeah, but
should
it is research.
Yeah. I'd much rather have an informed leader than a personality.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
compare
agree.
Canada.
Yeah,
to
we
the
all
United
know how a
States.
personality works.
Mm.
The problem is that you're always going to have outliers, right? You're going to have people that, okay, let's go to Canada because I'm in Canada here. There's a bunch of people that think what Mark Carney's doing is the worst thing that's ever happened to Canada, and we're going to all die and explode, and it's awful, and blah, 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 blah. There's a bunch of people there that think that he's like, oh my God, he's a god, and he's amazing, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to Canada. And then there's the reality that's in the middle. And basically, it's going to be
Yeah,
good
but
for
the
certain
same-
things and bad for others. You know,
The
it's
same people, if you took a list of everything that he did, and if it was Polyev that did it,
same thing. It'd just be the different.
they would
groups
be
of people.
saying he's the best thing ever. The same people that says that Carney's the worst thing ever. So it's
It's
They
the
all
2040
I
group.
just think
They all
so
suck.
ridiculous.
he
they all-
happens to be probably the right guy at the right time for this job.
There you go. It's a luck, right? Just
Yeah.
like I said.
No, I'm not. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
And
I can't see DP doing this at all.
Well, let's not go down the political thing because
that's
this is an
okay.
AI show, right?
Let's get back to the political.
But when can we get AI to replace the government is really what I want to know. So we don't
What
have
time
these
is it?
issues.
yeah, so there's I can't remember who it is, Dwarkesh or one of the top AI guys who thinks that that's the road to
That might be the
utopia.
best use of. Yeah.
The road to utopia is having a benevolent AI supreme ruler.
Well, yeah, but they would be a ruler. They would be an optimizer of time, and they would get things done, right? That we
Yeah.
don't want to get done. The only downside is
But they'd be in charge. They'd
yeah,
be
but
a
they
ruler.
would, they would be in charge of allocation of resources to maximize the ability for that country to prosper, right? And
Yeah.
that's what an AI does. If it's like a warfare AI, it's like, how can I more efficiently get rid of the assets? Not the people killing people. How could I get rid of the assets to cripple their ability to get rid of my assets? That's the game. That's what warfare is. So for the development and the ability for society to put an AI into making decisions that are very, very high level. I mean, it's not going to happen in our lifetime, but eventually that may happen because we want to do other stuff. Now, the people who want to do politicians and stuff like that, maybe that's what they get involved in. Who knows? It's just such a, like in 20, 30, 40 years, it's going to be so different. We have no ability to understand what's going to happen or come up with it. It's and it's got lots of choices. It can go from extremely dark scenarios to an extremely amazing, bountiful thing, or something in the middle. And it'll probably be something in the middle, right on averages.
Yeah. I saw 80-20 rule. That's it. I was watching a YouTube video with this guy that had this it's kind of an agentic AI. It does video editing, an agent that does video editing. And so this guy is a professional video editor and or producer, a video producer, and he pays for an editor. And he started off saying, okay, I'm going to see if this AI video editing agent can replace the editor. And so they got this AI to do the thing. And he says, well, the good news is it's not going to replace the editor, but it's going to take away all the stuff that he doesn't like to do. And he can focus on the more creative stuff. But it actually, he said he did this experiment. He wasn't going to use it after he had done this video, but, and the amount of videos that he does, he has to be on their high plan, which is like a couple $100 a month. And he said he says he can't even imagine having to go back and do that tedious stuff. He can do more of the creative stuff. And he said that once you get this, you can't go back. And he said the bad part about this is that those little tedious jobs are how new people break into the industry. Yes. And he said that is gone. He said this is just the beginning of this. This is a new company that came up with this, but it's going to be in this technology is going to be in DaVinci Resolve and in Premiere Pro and in all the video editing software, just in CapCut even, just going to be there and be able to do this for you. And the new people that are trying to break into the video production industry, and that was their stepping stone in, that stepping stone is gone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That entry level is very important as well. I mean, that's the Australian film industry, basically. We're big enough to make Star Wars films and the Pirates of the Caribbean. We can have we're opening 2 new studios in New South Wales. We've got all the infrastructure. It's fantastic. But we don't have enough money to make hundreds of millions of dollars worth of movies. So you get people like Margot Robbie, who's on a TV show called Neighbours for a few years, and Russell Crowe and all those guys came through TV, did small films here, and then we're like a kindergarten. Then they can go to America. Of course, they leave. It leaves space for the next guy who's nearly talented enough to step up, get good, and go to America. So we are a kindergarten. So we are the entry-level Hollywood.
You're like the farm team.
Yeah, but without that, like you said, without no entry-level jobs, say to the guy, go grade those 50 clips to make them all look the same. So then the editor can cut them in. Once that editor grays out, it's gone.
Mm-hmm. And they won't even need like the low-level extras or supporting even the supporting actors anymore, really, because they could use AI characters for that.
Yeah. Well, that was a big thing that was in the last writer's strike and the last actor's strike in America. They're saying you get this young actor who's desperate for money and says, look, you sign this contract, we'll give you one line in this movie, you get paid 10 grand, but we get to keep your image forever and use it in AI. Well, you've got to make rent. So you sign it. And now you're in every crowd scene for the rest of humanity as an AI-generated actor.
Some guy sold his for like $750. Now he's like hawking minerals and all sorts of weird shit. Like it was $750 for his entire likeness. And he's like, that was bullshit. And it's like, well, no shit. But on the other side, Denmark has decided that every single person that lives there has copyright their likeness and is actively trying to get it. So I don't know. And there's a lot of people saying like, stop giving ChatGPT your picture, which I didn't really read a lot into, but that sounds.
Or what about cloning your voice in
3 seconds? 3 seconds. It used to be 10 seconds. Now it's 3.
Yeah, Microsoft can do it in 3 seconds.
Wow.
A lot of our
thinking of
voices
using
are gone
that for
already.
an audio book rather than sit there and read it. Just like I have a book, read the book for me.
I don't like
anyways.
audiobooks though. The problem with audiobooks is they're too slow.
But you can
Right?
speed it up.
Yeah, but then it sounds
I'm
like
not
Mickey
really,
Mouse
I
talking
don't-
to you, and it loses the.
I don't listen
has
to
to sit in
audio.
your
I
head.
listen to a lot of podcasts, but I can't really get into audiobooks.
Yeah.
And it's the
For the
same.
next generation, maybe.
I can read faster.
My older brother
good
used to read
drives.
like 10,000 words a minute just by scanning.
And so some people put it up like 2x or 2.5x, but I don't like that either.
Yeah.
To listen, even to, I just.
I mean, a
If you get
novel
someone like
for
Patrick
him
Stewart.
was an afternoon's read.
Yeah, but you get someone like Patrick Stewart reading The Lord of the Rings. It's pretty good.
Well, there is that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like the difference between inexpensive, cheap podcast and a high production podcast, right? Like a high production podcast can cost $125,000, or a low production one can cost $20. So there is a difference, and it's a production difference. Is the ability to make it more sophisticated and have more fun and make it more entertaining, blah, blah, blah. But at its core, it's the information and the energy that the people that are speaking on mic bring to the show. And also
those NPR shows, they can have between 8 and 30 people working on just one series, right? So compare that to like an indie podcaster that does everything on their own, right?
Yeah, but it will get as the AIs develop, an indie podcaster will be able to do something that NPR does with 4 people, not 30 people. And so it goes back to the governments have got to start taking paying people just to be around, because we don't need them for work. So what are they going to do? We have, because
that's what I'm saying. In Australia, we're talking about going to a 4-day work week. Your wages won't drop. We just want to have an extra day so you can consume. But that's all we need. We only need 4 days effort now.
In Japan, they want you to bang.
Pardon?
In Japan, they want to go to a 4-day work week so that they can raise their amount of people that are being made.
Yeah, as we talked about before the show, they've got a new robot now that can carry a
baby
to term and give birth to it.
Yeah, that's science fiction.
In America now, you can't unplug the baby. You can't unplug the baby.
China is desperate for people, right? So they need people. So robots will do the job.
What, 2 billion is not enough people?
But I like to practice. I don't want to give an AI that job.
No, but it's not that the number of people, it's that it's demographically stacked older people. Right? So it means that it's an inverted pyramid.
Well, that actually might be safer because older pregnancies do cause more deaths. So that would eliminate like parental figures, which would be bad. But if you have a robot carrying the baby, well, there's not that human risk. So I don't know.
The genetics. Now there's the genetics thing too, right?
Once all that older generation dies, we're going to need AI.
Well, you got to understand, Japan is basically screwed right now because they've got so many people that are senior citizens, and they don't have enough people in the rest of the country to take care of the senior citizens.
We're going to have that problem in
absolutely.
Another
Canada is,
and we keep bringing in other people's older people.
Canada's not nearly as bad.
Oh, well, but we're bringing in everybody else in their family to take the space of everybody else.
Yeah, we've got a lot of immigrants too. So
no offense to the immigrants,
we needed the immigrants. We needed them because
we need them. Yeah.
Well, no, we didn't. No,
yeah, we do.
No,
yeah, we do.
No, there's a lot of stuff that we could have looked at better and made better decisions.
Oh, I'm not saying it couldn't have been I'm not saying it couldn't have been managed better.
It's not a perfect system, no.
I live in a province where they said they were calling, and they should have hung up the phone, built more houses, found the space,
of course.
Increased the wage for all these people come in, because they come here now, they can't find any place to live or whatever. There's no doctors, there's nothing. So we're just as bad as Japan.
No, it's the opposite problem.
Yeah, 51% of Australia are either migrant or children of.
Our natural fertility rate in Canada is about 1.6. The
For
replacement
now.
rate, the replacement rate is 2.1, and we're making up the difference with immigration. China is 1.1. So that means every generation gets cut in half, and it's been four decades like that. So they're already so demographically on the older side that it's just going to be another 20 years before everything collapses there, unless they have a major.
I mean, is China letting in immigrants?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but can they attract immigrants?
Oh, sure.
Who wants to move to China?
Oh, there's a lot of people that are from different countries. That
I would like to go visit China. I'll be truthful.
No, visit.
I like China.
Visiting is different. But
I want to go
to Japan has a visa where if you promise to get somebody pregnant while you're there, you get a visitor visa.
Well, yeah, like what's it? What's the country that in?
That sounds like a pretty fun world tour. I don't know about you guys.
There's an Eastern European country. I can't remember which country it was, but they for each kid that you have, you get a 25% reduction in tax. So if you have 4 kids, you live tax free for the rest of your life.
You sound like a woman on Tinder.
So I'm going to make the government owe money.
So they are that desperate for fertility.
Our workforce is going towards
they need kids.
We don't really care about fertility.
Oh. But I know this is off topic and we're not talking about agents anymore, but
we haven't been on topic for 10 minutes, so go.
Is this just the world correcting? Like, we're going to hit a critical mass around 9 billion people, and then we're going to need a reduction because we can't house, can't feed, just not enough space. Everyone ends up with like a square meter each. Is this going to be the next?
Get AI to do that for us?
Well, I think it's the once you hit a certain level in economic prosperity, then kids become a liability, and so then it just levels off, and then it the way it's going to go now, we're going to hit 9 billion, and then it's going to plummet.
So, will AI maintain, so we don't slip into a dark ages? Will AI maintain our prosperity and lifestyle? Will it?
Hopefully,
but you've got workers, you've got people who do the mundane stuff. So us 1%.
But the other wild card is people like David Sinclair and all these longevity doctors. He said that his book Lifespan is out the window. He's working on his second version of that book because AI has made all. Basically, they've discovered like dozens of molecules using AI that they think are very good candidates for these longevity treatments. And he said without AI, it would have taken 10,000 years for his labs to do this. So he said that all the predictions he made are useless now because that was before AI, and now they've done this, and they've got so many good candidates now that it would have taken them just to filter through and do experiments. So that's the wild card, because maybe everyone's going to live to 300 or whatever. So that's that'll change the whole thing will change if that happens.
Well, they were already saying like there was a human born on the planet already that was going to be bicentennial. That was after like I think the year 2000. So it's not like that was that far of a prediction. I mean, I guess an extra 150 years isn't that bad, but would that change how you lived your life?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it would change how you live your life, but it would also change the problem that a lot of countries, especially in Asia, are facing is that they're going to be they're just going to die out. Like South Korea, China.
It would change massively too, because in Australia, you used to get the age pension at 65 because most men died at 57. So if you outlived your peers by 10 years, you got cash. Good for you. But now everyone lives to 80s and 90s. If someone dies in their 80s, people are like, if they live to 90, they go, well done. But if you live to 200, you're not retiring at 75 or 80, because then you've got 120 years of non-productive living, where you're not putting back into the system. So you won't
No, but
retire
you
to
would be.
100.
No, because it's not another 100 years of geriatric life.
No,
you're
no.
actually you've got some vitality. You're young.
Yeah, but because you've got vitality, you're consuming without participating. Like when I retire,
Why?
I'm
No,
not
why?
participating in shit. Right?
No, but why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you participate? If most people, I think most people who are able-bodied and have clear thoughts would rather be doing something, right?
Yeah, but not working.
It goes back to whether if you have universal basic income, if you're just going to sit around and play video games and hang out in guitar shops, or are you going to want to do something, right?
Well, and that's the incentive of universal basic income. You're allowed to sit around and do nothing, but eventually you're going to get tired of that. Because I mean, we've all been employed for a certain amount of time. We're like, okay, I'm going a little stir crazy.
Yeah, that's me right now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Not to throw that on you, but eventually you do want to do something. You want to leave a legacy or a mark. But if you're living to 200 or 300 years old, you're going to make a decision. When do I want to have children? That sort of thing. Are you going to get done right at the start? Are you going to wait? Like, there's all sorts of these things.
Yeah.
Are we going to run out of hydro power? Power and water. That is consumed a lot by AI. There was places in Texas that were told not to shower because they are right next to a huge AI plant.
We should talk about that actually, because that's a big issue.
The
power requirements of AI. And I was talking to someone the other day, and he said, why should society, why should he's got a friend that lives in the Midwest, and he said his electricity bill went up by $60 a month. And he said, for him, that's a lot. And he's like, why should these tech companies pass the cost of these AI developments to the consumer of electricity? And so, I mean, my response was, well, if you look at all of the AI companies, all of the major foundational model companies, they all are investing in small modular reactors and massive amounts of solar and wind power. They want to power their own servers.
Geothermal.
Yeah.
I haven't heard in Alberta. They want to use geothermal mixed with like the cold water around it to take care of that stuff.
Do it a lot in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Can't they just run it off sheep in New Zealand?
Not as much as they used to.
I know, that's so sad. I feel bad about that.
You have to let more sheep immigrate, then it would be okay.
Let more sheep immigrate.
Just like in Canada.
Yeah.
That was a New Zealand paternity case. You're my daddy.
Oh, ouch. Ay. Okay, let's do a swing around because we're at 1 hour. What do you guys want to talk about as far as the what can we do today and the next 6 months as far as utilization of an AI to help you do the things that you don't want to do? What type of things don't you want to do on a day-to-day basis? So I'll start off because I'm already doing it. On social media, I've got this campaign that I've been doing that's trying to point out misinformation, blah, blah, blah. And it's very, very hard to be neutral and to not be politically influenced or emotionally influenced. So I use AI to do my arguments, and I'll write something down, say, and then I'll give it to AI and say, look, make this neutral. I want it central. I don't want it left. I don't want it right, and rewrite it. And it rewrites it. And that's what I post as my answer, because if I don't, then it's too stressful to communicate with people through social media. And the people that I'm communicating with are having to deal with it by not managing it through AI. Now, I'm not saying that AI is writing it for me. I'm saying that this is the concept I'm trying to get across, but I need it communicated in a non-emotional and pleasant and non-politically biased way. All communication is biased, but that's what I put up. And so that's how now, if I could have an agent that would do that for me automatically, that would be freaking amazing. But I would still have to monitor it to make sure it's not.
So how would you do that? So it would be like you would give it the instructions, and then it would follow a certain level of the same steps that you take to do it, and then automatically post it?
No, it couldn't, because the way I react to a specific situation is that it's based on my personality and my beliefs and all that type of stuff. And AI can't do that. What I don't like doing is taking it and pasting it and getting it and giving all these instructions and getting out and pasting it back in. If I could just write something and then go hit, and the AI does all this stuff and then gives me something to paste in, that would be way more efficient. And I could, do that and get back to my day type of thing.
Like if you could record a video of you going through the process a few times and then give that video to an agent and say, okay, this is the standard operating procedure for this process that I'm doing. You just do that now.
Sure.
Yeah. That'd be
right.
awesome.
I mean, that's how you could use it today. I'm not talking about the future, but like literally today with what ChatGPT is capable of doing, or in 8 months, what it's going to be capable of doing. One of the things I want to do is connect it to my Google Docs and reorganize my Google Docs. I got thousands of Google Docs, and they're in folders and stuff, but I want the AI to go in and organize it properly based on topics, and then give me basically a content thing that I can cross-reference. And I wanted to build that. It's incapable of doing that now. That's too complex of an ask for AI. And there's too much permission. There's permission basis issues there, right?
Same thing with email. I would love it to do that with email.
Exactly. But the guys that are running those companies know that is a huge market benefit. So if they can get their AI to do X and a lot of people get into it, then they've got them, right? It's what's happening with AI, the 5 companies, let's say, that are involved in AI. And those are the 5 top companies, or the 5 companies that are seeking to become the top companies. That's what they have to do. They have to become the early people, have to go to them automatically and don't consider all the, it's like, nah, I'll just use this AI. So that's what's going to make those companies successful in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, is people automatically going to ChatGPT, or automatically going to another one, automatically going to somewhere else, because that's the way they do it. And the human is programmed to use that particular AI.
Right now, I go to different ones for different reasons. Like for ideas, I go to ChatGPT. For writing things, I go to Claude. If I'm compiling a bunch of research, I'll go to Notebook LM.
Right. But if you could go to the ChatGPT helper, which is separate from ChatGPT, and say, hey, look, I want you to write
operator. Operator.
Yeah. And basically it would go to ChatGPT to do that. And then you say, I prefer that you use Claude for this. And it would do that for you, but you would only go to the interface one and tell it what you want. So those are the companies that will succeed.
So that's Perplexity. Perplexity is in its own model. It uses all the models, and it's really good for search. That's what I use as a search engine, my default search engine, because it brings you, it answers the question, and instead of having just like Google with a bunch of links, it's got little numbered citations, and then you can click the sources tab, and it shows all the sources that it used to answer the question. And I find it, unless I'm looking for a link, like sometimes I go to Google because I actually want a list of search results, but 9 times out of 10, I want an answer to a question. And so that's why Perplexity for me is the search AI.
Yeah, I always ask for links. I basically say, I want you to research this, blah, blah, blah. And then I say, any fact that you put in your answer, you have to back up with a link, and I will check that link. And
Perplexity does that by default.
Right. And then I go and click on all those links, and any link that doesn't work or is wrong, I say, this link is no, you have to take those facts out or find a better link, and it'll go out and do that. So if I could do that automatically, that would be awesome.
Right. Is there an agent at the moment, this is because I don't do social media very much. So I'll put out a video on my screenwriting channel. So I'll publish a video. And if I'm lucky, I'll put it into a couple of Facebook groups, but I just rely on people finding stuff on YouTube. I don't promote it. Is there an agent at the moment that I could say, every time I publish, you will be notified because you subscribe to my channel. Then I want you to summarize the notes I've made in the show notes post it on X, Twitter for me, and any social media you think would be beneficial to my channel.
Lindy.com or Lindy.ai. Lindy.ai. Lindy.ai.
That would be invaluable for me because I can put a video together in as long as a video plus 20 minutes for editing.
So they have it's like a logic flow where you start off with the trigger event, which would be a new video posted. And then you could have a wait a certain amount of time if you want, and then summarize the show notes or the YouTube description, and then post it to X, post it to here, post it to here, post it to here. Yeah, that is doable right now. It's $50 a month, but you can do it. They're coming out with a $20 plan probably this week, he said. So for $20, you'd probably be able to do that plus do anything else. Like, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I've been wanting to get into that for a while, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet.
Yeah, I think it's an important tool if you're creating content, is the ability to have a post-production team and your promotion team and your distribution team. If you could have that all automatically done, because those guys don't need to make a decision. All the decisions were made during the creative process of creating the content and getting it to a certain level. And then no real decisions on creativity have to be made. It's just like, do it this way, make it this format, put that on Instagram, do it this way, put it on Facebook. Then you need AI to interface with people. So when they say, oh, that's an awesome video, blah, blah, blah. And if it doesn't ask a specific question, you can always get the AI to say, hey, thank you very much, blah, blah, blah. If you like this video, here's 2 other links that you might like. And it can find that out for you pretty easily. And then if there's a really good question or something that the AI marks because of the system you put together, it sends you an email and say, this person needs this question answered. You type it in, you hit return, and the AI picks it up and does it for you. That's the way you should be thinking when you're talking about having these AI tools work for you. You kind of have to figure out the system that's going to work for you based on what you do on the internet. And for everybody that's out there, that's a different question, and a different answer has to come up, or a different system has to come up. And I think that's why they're struggling. They're saying, oh yeah, we'll just put out this auto system, and they put it out and people say, yeah, but what about, can I do this? And they no, we didn't program it in. So really what you need is an AI that can say, oh, you want this? Sure. And the next person that's using exactly the same service, they say, oh, I want this. I say, sure, and gives them the answer. That's what AI would be able to do, to make those logic leaps, where just a dumb thing that we work with now, we have to do all this stuff manually because it's redundant stuff, and that's what humans are forced to do every day at their job. So as AI develops, you won't have to do that many things. The office will become way more efficient. And if you don't have AI capabilities to make yourself more efficient, you will not get hired. That's just the way it is. Like if I'm hiring somebody and I have a choice between student A and student B, and student A has been into AI for 3 years, I'll hire him over the person that's been into AI for 6 months. Because I know that person will be hugely, unless they're a complete idiot, hugely way more efficient because they've worked with it, they've figured out how it works, they've got their systems in place. And then I'll say, hey, you need to do this. And say, oh, great. And then use your AI to be more efficient. And they go, oh, fantastic. Right? Mm-hmm. Right now, when people use their AI, they're doing it kind of like, if I use the AI, people will not like me or get angry with me and blah, blah, blah. So on social media now, if I do an opinion piece, I'll just say, this is a AI op-ed with a star. And then at the bottom, it said, this is what that means, where Bob is using AI to help create this blah, 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 blah. And I'm advertising. It's like, I use AI, and this is why this piece is more entertaining and more neutral. And it has, if you want to know the research, I can send you the links, because a lot of times on Facebook, you can't put the links in. So I'll create a link tree and put the post there, and then you click on it. And, here's 52 links that support all these arguments. Where with a lot of the people that I'm discussing it with, they'll say something outrageous or paranoid or conspiracy-based with no supporting links. So, oh, no, here's the video. I say, great, that's one. Where are all the supporting links that guy is supposed to provide for all the outrageous things he says in the video? And that's where the whole conspiracy thing collapses.
Yeah, but it's a persuasive video.
Yeah, but it's not real. And that's what I'm trying to get across in social media.
Even beside the point, Bob.
Yeah, I'm not saying
just
that.
Watch the YouTube video. Just watch the YouTube video, and you'll understand.
Yeah.
You'll
Exactly.
understand if you watch the video.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it told me how to fix my car, so this must be true too.
Exactly.
So the earth must be flat.
So
Well-
for me, that's my cause on Facebook. It's like, guys, you can post anything you want. That's fine. Just make sure that it's not BS. Do your due diligence just to see something and then say, oh, I'm going to share that with a friend. It's like, you might be sharing misinformation.
I put that
And
on my
that's-
channel. Everyone's going, I can't write this screenplay. I'll be cancelled. So I just had to do. I did a video. There's no such thing as cancel culture. The only thing there is cowardice. You say what you want and live with your fucking consequences, right?
Yeah,
No
exactly.
one can cancel you. They can't come around the house and rip my camera down and stop me from posting videos. They can just choose to ignore me, and that's fine because I'm not talking to them.
Exactly.
They can.
But if you write it and it is what you believe, or if AI writes it and it is what you believe, then
That's
I
fine.
don't see the difference.
Well, the difference is in AI, I can say, I believe this, but prove to me through links and other information and resources that are viable and not crazy. Then I'll post this. But if not, I won't accept
that's
it.
what I mean. I mean, you can support what you believe with links. Just because AI read it doesn't make it, less of an opinion.
Oh, of course not.
No,
But
but I
you're
think
controlling what it says.
there's a difference between that and writing a screenplay, though, I think.
Yeah, but that's all fiction usually anyway.
Hope so.
Well, if you're doing a biography of somebody, the research would be crazy easy to do these days. It's like, it's okay, I'm doing it on this guy. I need to know all this stuff and show me all the bad things and the good things. Like your research period would be incredibly fast and more efficient. You still have to read through it. You still have to figure out how you're going to structure it. And that's the creative part. And then you write the biography or autobiography. With stuff that's more fictional, you can get the AI to give you suggestions for story arcs or whatever you struggle with, and get the AI to do that part and then say, yeah, that's good, but I don't like that. Give me some other suggestions. That's art direction, right? You're an art director. That's a job that exists today where you work with other artists, other creative people to create something. And your job is to decide what the other creative does. That's beautiful, but it doesn't fit in with the vision I have that I'm trying to create. So can you adjust it this direction?
Mm-hmm.
And then they go and they adjust it, and they're paid to do that and not get angry with you. They still get angry, but they're getting paid not to hit you or whatever the reason is, right? But like when I work with art directors,
Throw stuff.
I hated my art directors because I thought they were wrong and I was right, but I was the artist and I was being paid. That's what commercial artists are. It's the creative people that put up with the bullshit, right? That is what, that's the job description, really. And if you want to do art and have nobody criticize it or nobody tell you could improve it by doing X, or it doesn't fit the what the client was requesting, well, then you can do that type of art too and sell it in a gallery. But it's very hard to get a job as an art director or a creative director in an agency where you get to do anything you want. I mean, you got to be really, really good, and you've got to be able to create stuff that makes hundreds of millions of dollars so that people look at it and say, yeah, I want to use this guy because he made Volvo jump by 6.5%, and I want my company to jump by 6.5%. So I want this creative director. So a good creative director, if he leaves an agency, the clients leave the agency. That's why a creative director makes $1 million a year, because if they don't pay him and he leaves, they lose hundreds of millions.
I've got another call to get to, gentlemen.
Oh,
Been lovely.
so busy.
Oh,
so busy.
Zoom
Jeez.
Tuesday for
Ooh,
you.
double dating,
Yes,
you
oh.
naughty boy.
Oh,
I'll catch up with you next time.
All right,
Have
thanks,
a
dude.
good day, Craig.
Good
Take
night.
it.
Always,
in the
always good info,
afternoon.
man.
He's going to the Silo project.
The Silo Pro.
Much better than the
I get
bunker.
it.
Much better than bunker.
Oh, yeah.
I
All right,
prefer
guys.
the bunker.
Hey, since you
Hey,
dropped off, do you want to do a quick wrap up and then we can make that the end of
Well,
the
I
show?
just wanted to mention what I would use an agent for.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we were on that question.
Yeah, I would. So I'm already using this recording system that we have right now, wave.video. I'm using it to, after the video is done, I can just hit a button and it creates clips. And so it suggests all these little clips and it's gotten really good. So that's awesome. But what I would like AI to be able to do, an agent, is then to add the way that I like it with the little progress bar and the wave and the captions, to automatically add that, automatically render them, and then change them from vertical video to square and render them again, because that's time consuming to do all that. And it's something that is just tedious and something that I think an agent could do very easily.
Mhm.
It probably had to be built into Wave. I'm not sure if an external agent would be able to do it very well, but yeah, that would be awesome. And I was watching a YouTube video on Go High Level, which is kind of a CRM business intelligence system, and they've got an AI callback feature. So if you have a small business, like if you're a restaurant or say a plumber or a contractor or something, and you just work yourself, so you when you're doing the work, it's hard to answer the phone and take customer calls and stuff like that. So if you miss a call, the AI will text the person back automatically and say, "Oh, sorry, I missed your call. How can I help you?" And if it's a restaurant, then they could say, "Sorry, I missed your call. Here's a link to the online ordering system for takeout," and then follow up and say, or would you rather make a reservation? And then it starts a text conversation. And then as soon as you're free, you can just pick up your phone and take over the text. So I thought that was really cool.
Okay, James, what are you going to do with it? I got to hear this.
I really haven't been playing much with Agentix, to be honest.
No, but what would you want an agent to do?
I to be honest, I'm kind of on an anti-AI kick right now.
Mhm.
I don't want to deal with call centers that use AI. I don't want to use websites that use AI. I don't want to use a self-checkout that uses AI. Like, I want real people to interact with now, because it's becoming too frustrating that I see for myself and others, where it's like, I just want to talk to somebody for like 2 seconds. Don't make me jump through all these fucking hoops.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't send me a bill like Rogers. Like, I missed paying my bill by like a couple of minutes, and it was like, "Hey, do you need help with that?" And it was like, "Fuck you!" Like, I'm gonna pay you, you sons of bitches. You can look at my track record. It's 12 months of nothing but paying my bills. Like, why did they have to jump on us so hard? And they're using AI for that shit. Like, good luck.
What they're doing is they're using AI to interface with the client instead of using AI to logically say, this guy missed it by 20 cents. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that would be like a better habit.
Yeah, and then you get a text saying
consultant or something like that, because some people do need help. And I think that's the biggest thing that maybe I use AI already for, is like writing, just grammar and spell check. Like, fuck, that's a huge part of my kind of role and what I do in life. And that's, I guess, what I would use the Agentix.
Well, that's why I said that I think retail and hospitality won't be hit as hard, because people want to deal with people.
Mm-hmm.
But I do disagree with, like, I like having an AI chatbot that's good, because I would rather have a problem resolved quickly or information given to me quickly than to go on hold with a phone company or something for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, but don't keep trying to redirect me to your website to talk to a chatbot when it couldn't deal with the problem that it's given.
Yeah. If it's not good, then it's a nightmare. It's
just a fucking circular.
Well, and the reason is nobody has actually made that product yet and gone to them and say, look, here's the product. It's an actual AI. We custom build it. It's going to cost you $5 million a year to use, because that's what it costs. And if you don't, you're going to start losing customers, because the company that does it first will take all your clients.
There was a guy that just used Suno and all this stuff. He made all these songs with AI. Then he put them on Spotify. Then he used bots to listen to these songs. And now he had royalties of up to $10 million from all these streaming services. And now he's going to jail.
Yeah, he gamed the system.
He gamed the system to show that. Yeah.
Fraudulently.
Wire fraud and
that's the worst. If they ever say wire fraud, you're screwed.
Oh, that
So
guy
why-
is so fucked.
So why would that be wire fraud?
Because
Because
misuse
he's
of-
using the bots to listen to the song. He's
Yeah, but
committing-
it's because
there-
there's money involved. Wire
No.
fraud is, when you wire money, there's a whole huge,
Wait, let me
very
try to-
complex
A
structure. of
stream
stuff
is a
based on it.
stream.
in the podcast space, that was a thing. It was called Twitter bombing, and you would take your podcast and you would take the direct download link and you'd post it on Twitter. You'd get bots to play it on Twitter over and over and over again, and that would crank up your downloads.
Mhm.
And
Were you sent
then-
any money for doing that?
Yeah, because you have advertisers on, you have sponsors on your
No,
podcast.
but that's different. You were directly sent money.
Yeah,
because of
this
it's a
yeah.
click.
So
It's a click.
this guy is using the bots to do it for him. He's paid for those bots, and so it says here in the court case that he was able to use 661,440 streams a day, yielding an annual royalty of $1,200 a month. So
Okay.
that's where he gets.
So I
into
got
the-
in arguments with some people who were saying that this is a legitimate thing, and I'm like, no, it's not.
Botting has always been a part of any entertainment industry, at least in the last.
no, but
20 years.
if you're intentionally pumping up your numbers,
Oh, I get advertisements all
and
the
you've got
time. What do you
you've got
think?
advertisers, sponsors
Yeah.
that are paying for the downloads, and they're not, and they're not real people. That's fraud.
That's not in good faith. Yeah, that's fraud. Absolutely.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
We've seen this happening since Twitter and all those other things came on. Like,
But nobody got charged with fraud.
well, he was based in North Carolina. Unfortunately, he chose the wrong place to try this little gamble, I think is the moral of the story that we'll go with here.
Well, also the way that the laws work is that the attorney general that's about to attack you, they look at the laws and they say, well, technically, because of these precedents, we can go after him with wire fraud, which is a much more serious crime. And you go to jail for that, like 20, 30 years you go to jail, right? Or hundreds of thousands of dollars and 20 years type of thing. So yeah, there was a guy that he does all this conspiracy stuff, and he got nailed for wire fraud, and they bankrupted him. That's how they got him off the air. He is penniless now. Now he started another thing, and he's got GoFundMe, stuff like that, and probably go after him again.
Who's that? Alex Jones?
Yeah.
That's how they took him out, and it's just
Yeah,
like
but he deserves it.
Yeah, but he's not. He's still got. His
he's still
website.
got he's still got all his followers and stuff like that because they pay him to stay up. But he owes hundreds of millions of dollars, so he's
Yeah.
had to do some very
that was-
interesting.
so did Hulk
accountings.
Hogan, rest in peace.
That was because of the Sandy Hook thing.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. He
Yeah,
got sued by
he
a
owes
lot of families.
hundreds.
Yeah.
of
So freedom
millions
of speech, but you don't have freedom of consequences of your speech, right?
Exactly.
You can say whatever you
Misinformation, you can get sued for misinformation. And that's what I'm trying to get across to people. Is like, if you promote misinformation and it hurts somebody or somebody dies from it, in the future, there will
You're
be a
probably gonna
law
be
and a precedent,
liable.
and
Yeah.
they're going to contact you and say, oh, by the
Yeah.
way, 10 years ago, you did this. And under this law, this precedent that just passed yesterday, you are now considered guilty for this. And you're going to face this fine, and you may go to jail for something you did 10 years ago.
I fucking hope not.
Well, I don't know about that because there's a
Well, I did. That's
call
a
it?
premise, but you know how the law
there's a
works, right?
there's a statute of limitations, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't exist because it's so new.
Bob is being hypothetical still.
Yeah,
and
like, what's
nothing
the-
is this happened
This
yet.
isn't
This is
true.
kind of a
This is
argument
conspiracy
that has
theory, right?
been-
This is
You
how
know, the
conspiracy
people are
theory
worried
works.
that their Twitter accounts are going to be used on them in 10 years and stuff like that. Like,
No, it's basically used by
interesting.
HR. It's used by HR now, right? If you go, they say, "Oh, where's your Facebook account? Oh, you have a Twitter account. Very interesting."
oh yeah, don't
they'll
try
have
to
a
scrub your
bot go
phones or
through it.
anything like that. Yeah, that's the dumbest thing you can do if you're traveling because like
Oh
your
yeah, you travel
fingerprint
with your
is
phone.
huge.
Oopsie.
Well, that just in general, like
Yeah, you have a second phone.
ChatGPT's records may be released to the public because of what their battle with the New York Times is. So if you didn't want something to be said about
Don't
you
say
from
it.
ChatGPT, maybe you shouldn't go ahead and say it sometimes.
Well, that's what Sam Altman said. He said, assume that anything you say to ChatGPT could be public.
Absolutely. You know, if you're on ChatGPT and you say, you know, how do I actually they won't let you though, but like how do I make a bomb, or what's
Well,
the
that's
most efficient
Grok.
way
They'll
for-
let you use it on Grok. Yeah.
but how can I forcibly change the direction of a plane, what's the best way to get that happening, right? Like, then they say, well, we can't do that, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times it's like, but hypothetically, and then it'll give you the answer hypothetically, because they're lawyers saying, we don't want to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble, but we're not.
You're talking about jailbreaking, which is a totally different way of using the AI. And, it's interesting to push its limitations, but I think it should be within reason.
They red hat it so that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Well,
they tested it before. But Elon Musk,
don't know if you've been paying
Elon Musk was
attention.
desperate to catch up with OpenAI, so he red hatted a new release of Grok about 6 months ago.
Yeah, and it has a bias, which is extremely interesting.
He red hatted it in public. He didn't bother to red hat it, and so there was journalists that were having fun with it, and one of them asked Grok to tell him how to kill Elon Musk. What's the best way to kill Elon Musk? And it gave him his complete itinerary of where he goes.
Yeah, that's why he shut it down.
Where the bottleneck is, where the best point to be is to get to him, and what the best way to kill him is.
Mm-hmm.
And and then another one asked how to make a homemade bomb, and it told him. Anyways, they fixed
but a lot of
then there was the whole Hitler thing, right? Praising
Mecha Hitler, that was pretty fun. And then there was naked pictures of some celebrity that would come along with any question you asked that were just automatically generated. I mean, AI is wonderful in some of the aspects.
It's funny the difference between like what Elon is doing with X AI and Grok and what Meta is doing, right? Like Meta is
you're going to have sexual conversations with people and convince a 70-year-old man to come visit you because he.
No, I mean in their strategy. Their investment strategy. Elon is investing in compute, like these mega clusters of servers.
Yeah,
and Zuckerberg is spending
money on
$1 billion on talent, right? Like for one person. So it's like,
and he's getting turned down. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, that's the
it's like, $1 billion. Give me a break. I wouldn't work for you for $1 billion. Wow, what a decision! I'll work for you for like 3.5 days, and that's it. And then I'll retire because that's how much $1 billion is.
3.5 days? Fuck! Just inflation is just rocketing. Jesus, 3 days at $1 billion? That's
well, you divide $1 billion by 365.
How many lifetimes is that?
It was a 4-year contract for $1 billion.
Well, that's the thing, right? That of course, that's why they had a 4-year contract.
He only worked 3 days, but it was a 4-year.
Still,
he got AI to do it all.
250 million a year. That's pretty good.
I don't know if I get out of bed for that.
But my AI will.
Is there a sports star that makes
my team in India will?
That makes what, $1 billion? No.
A sports star? No, there isn't, right?
No, I'm pretty sure like the highest is probably like, I don't know how. I don't know. That's a good question. I have to look that up.
Well, they make a certain amount of money to play the game, but they make way more money by doing advertising, marketing, and stuff.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
That's
Bob's right. You can supplement your income like so much with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and this is the same with YouTube, right? If you have the eyeballs, then sponsors will give you all these products and say, just talk about these products and get our branding in front of people.
Seth, we were talking about Seth Godin earlier. Seth Godin, he did a really good blog post about the difference between first place and second place in the Olympics. And first place, the difference between first place and second place can be a fraction of a second. But in terms of the sponsorships and the level of attention and your prospects for your career afterwards are like exponentially different.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The silver medalist gets like an honorable mention, but the gold medalist gets like millions and millions of dollars in sponsorships. And
$275 million is Cristiano Ronaldo. I feel bad if anybody's listening that likes soccer. Our apologies. Or football. Sorry, football. I'll use it properly. He plays football and he makes money playing football and sponsorships.
The Whitecaps got what's his name? I can't remember his name. A German legend.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Hans McFooty?
I can't remember his name.
I'm sorry. I'm really bad on my German soccer stars. My
Guys,
bad.
I got to run because I just realized it's past 8:30. Great chatting with you. Thanks for having me on the show. And we'll chat again in about a month?
Or do you want to do it sooner?
Well, I'm not going to be here in September for the first part of September.
As long as there's a topic, I can sort of research a little bit.
All right. So so if it's, I'll see what we can.
Did we get any questions off TikTok or anything? Nothing.
There might have been
viewer feedback that was like, what?
We for a while there we were getting a lot.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah.
Was it because of a brand new account or?
No, it's not a new account. I'll have to check. Oh, but well, I ran out of clips for a couple.
Well, that'll do it. No new content. That'll do it. Yeah. How much content do you put up? Well, we put up a video where once a week.
I think we said this back when we used to be in the bunker. Bonnie said it. She says he's got to be like 70% or 70% pull and 30% push.
Yep.
Right? Like you can't just be smashing people. You gotta bring other people like Seth Godin. What's up, buddy? Say that again.
Yeah, it's excuse me. What was it? Jab, 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 punch.
Yeah.
So, jab, 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 right hook.
Gary Vaynerchuk, who has his phone number on his TikTok. I haven't been ballsy enough to call it yet. Have you?
No. It's very hard
Gary,
to get
what are you doing? I'm at a garage sale. I'm at a garage sale. I got this fucking little stuffed animal for $20. This sucker doesn't know I'm gonna sell it for $40 on eBay, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be if you call it, it'll be an AI voice that you're talking to.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Maybe. Or one of his staff.
And then he'll put that conversation on one of his podcasts.
I do love my AI assistant that answers my spam calls and tells him to fuck off. That's the best thing I've used it for.
Okay, guys.
Ciao, ciao. See you later, Bob.
See you, Bob.
See you, Bob.